Getting ready to do a big audio project on this and put the heater core in. But first, I've got to remove the dash pad. There's no guides online anywhere that really tells me how to do this. So I'm going to make a video on that tonight. Alright guys, you saw in the intro that we're getting ready to do a complete sound system in this car. You saw it on the short too. We also, the heater core is busted in it, so I'm going to do it all at once. We've got over here, a retro sound unit. It's going to go in the car. And this is the better retro sound unit with the USB ports and Bluetooth and the pre-outs. So what we're going to do is we're going to put inside the car, we're going to put in the back, we're going to replace these two speakers. And then I'm not figured out for sure how I do it. I won't know till I take the pad off what I'm going to do in the front here. But see, these cars originally had these little speakers right here and then a big speaker right there. And these are like 3.5s, I guess, or something, I'm not sure. And you can't really get anything it's going to sound great at 3.5. I mean, if you got to use it, yeah, but the other speaker was a 4x10. You know, odd sizes back in, everything's 10 ohm. So I'm going to switch all that out. And when I take this dash pad off, I'm going to see if I can actually put a 5.25 component set in here and put the tweeters here and the woofer part there. And then I'm going to do the same thing in the back if I can, because I think they're 6x9s. And then I'm going to put a 12 in the trunk. Nothing crazy. I ain't trying to let everybody cheer it. I just want it to sound good when I drive the car. So, but first thing I got to do is actually take the dash pad off. And like I said, I couldn't find any kind of guides. I found a little bit on one of the forums that kind of explained it, but it was real vague. And so why not make a guide for you guys? This should work on any of the 71 through 74 B-body cars, the C-body cars, the Riviera, whatever that's considered. I'm not even sure what those are considered. May even work on some of the other, well, actually the B-body Buicks. Let me rephrase that. I know it'll work on them. It may work on some of the other B-bodies and C-body cars too. I'm not sure. Not looked into that yet. Another little cool mod we're going to do too, and I might do this all in the same thing. My mirror's gone, and I've got one. It's got a little screen in it. Looks like don't look bad. It doesn't look out of place. It's not going to detract. But I'm going to have it and a hidden camera, because this thing is hard to back up and see how close you are to it, because I've got one mirror right now. I do have an actual mirror for this side, but I've not really debated on how I want to do that yet. So for now, I can get that camera in. It'll help me just back up into spots in this car, because it's kind of hard to do it without a right mirror. Also, we got the mechanical gauges. Going to take these out. I'm trying to get all this good to go to Pigeon Forge. There is one other thing I need to check on the transmission. The pan's holding good. I think the dipstick O-ring is gone too, so I'm going to check it. There's some kind of little slow drip that it's not from the pan, so I need to figure out what that is. And that will use the new lift that is in, ready to go finally. So, but first, let's get this pad out of the way, and we'll show you how we do that. Like I said, I found some documentation on one of the forums, but it was kind of vague. But it did see that I need to take all these screws out from under the dash here, so. I should have used a screwdriver, but it's working. And I noticed this has a crack in it, so I'll put some JB Weld in this before I put it back. So, got my little magnet Harbor Freight bolt here to hold everything. Those things are ideal when you're working on little stuff like this. I don't think there's any more under there. So get these 3 out, and maybe this panel should drop down. Alright, so that should be loose. Unless, oh no, there's another one right there. Feel it. Okay, let's get over here and get this one. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. There's one right there. And it's supposed to be one over there, but I think I took it out for the gauges. Alright. So that should be all this. Yep, this panel's coming out. And then there's a duct attached to it. But we're not going to take that out right now. Just leave that right there. Now that that's out, you can see the other screws that we have to worry about. One right there. And then there's one on this side that I knew was here. Okay. Spin that chain. Alrighty. We may have to go get a screwdriver to do some of these. Come out there. There you go. Put all these in there. Nope. It looks like the screws that go in the pad are actually shorter than this trim panel. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. Okay. We'll have to drop the camera and do these. Let's get a screwdriver. Alright, this side's out. I think the glove box bolts over here got to come out too. So we'll climb over there and check those and see. But I think that's all it's holding me is that. And this whole pad should just come out. So it's a pretty simple process. Okay, so back in here, there's 3 screws. And here, I'm not sure what's holding me up in the top, but I'm going to have to pull the glove box to see. So we'll go ahead and pull the glove box just in case. I think it's got to come out to get the heater core out anyway. Anyway, there's 3 screws here. I'm going to have to do this and 2 right here on each side. And then the glove box liner should come out, so let me do that with the camera down. Alright, now the glove box lining's out, and really all you do with this is just kind of grab it and pull. It's just a piece of cardboard with felt on them. Not plastic like the modern cars. Alright, so now I can get up under here and see what else we got. Good thing is, it looks pretty mice clean up in here. It don't look like there's been really any mice issues. Alright guys. There's 2 bolts that you can't see, but they're right here and here. I can feel them. And that's what's holding the rest of this dash pad on. So I'm going to go get a socket and put on these, figure out what size it is. And we're going to drop these out. They feel like they're maybe 3/8 or 9/16 or something like that. I can't tell. Just kind of going by feel here. So we'll take those out, and then this pad, I believe, pops on off. Anyway, I got this little flex stubby ratchet. That probably the best thing to get in there. So let me take those out and see if this comes off. End up being a 3/8. There's the 2 bolts. And I believe we are loose. Alright. Now I know there's some clips in the back and I'm going to have to jerk on real hard. So let me set the camera up Don't know. All right, guys, I've got it loose. There's a spring clip over here that I had to pop down. I'll show you when I get it out completely. I've got to take the speaker loose here to get it on out. So let me take that out. There's just one bolt holds it. Looks like it's a 5/16. Take it out. We'll pull this pad out. All right, guys, it ended up being a 1/4 inch bolt. Put this down in my things. There's all the bolts it takes just to take a dash pad off. That's what it looks like inside. I may replace these. These are kind of getting rough while I'm at it with the silver ones that they have that's out better now. Here is the speaker, and there's where it lives. All right, so this thing just has a clamp and just holds the speakers in there. It's just a wedge piece of metal. There's the spring clip I was telling you about that you had to take out if I didn't tell you before. But that has that. So I'm not sure why we couldn't just put 2 5 1/4s in here. I'm pretty sure they'll fit with no problem. It looks like I got plenty of room up here in the dash. Right there where they lived. So we can do that. And I see the spot for the 4 inches, but there was nowhere, there's none up here. So, but that would work for tweeters. So we should be able to put tweeters right here like I'm wanting to do, in the 5 1/4s here. And then if these are 6x9s, well, this back dash, it really don't matter. We can put whatever we want in there. But we should be able to do 4 component sets in the car, like so. Do the retro sound unit right there. And a small sub in the trunk. Well, it's not a small sub, but not like crazy amperage. It'd be just a regular old 12, but I think that will work really, really well. May go back, we'll also replace these gauges, and got this wiring kind of just stuck up in there. I might be able to do it just a little better while I'm in there, which, like I said, all this is coming out anyway once I do the sniper, but for now it's not. So, but now we can get in here too and get down to this heater core. It's right there. I'm not sure how hard it'll be to get to, but that'll be on the next video. I'm not doing it tonight. I'm gonna get a new one of these, I'm sure. Well, right there's the heater core, so guessing this pops out. Anyway, somehow that pops out. I'm not sure. I took the 2 bolts loose earlier. You'll see that in an earlier video. But I think I'm gonna get some new ducts because these look bad. I think I will get the silver ones that hold heat better. But so one other thing that's really cool about these cars, and they were blowed on this car, these little lights. So I'm gonna swap those with LEDs. I'm gonna swap everything with LEDs, really. It shouldn't be too hard to do before we put it all back together. We'll do all this before we put it back together. The air conditioner evaporator, I think it's the evaporator, the one that's inside the car. I can't remember which one's evaporator and condenser. I know what they are, but anyway, for this car is about $300, and I think it mounts on the outside. Seems like this is the back of it right here. Maybe that ain't even it. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's like $300 for a replacement. So if that one's good, I'm not going to replace it. But I'm pretty sure you can take the fender off and change those. Is how you change those anyway. But man, this car is clean up and under here though. So that cable right there is what you got to take out to get to the heater core. And these guys, I don't know if I can get a replacement for them. If I can, I'll go ahead and get them too. So, but that's it. So we're going to have to order some parts. So that's it, guys. That's how you take a dash pad out of one of these cars. Like I said, there was nothing online telling me. So there was one guide on V8 Buick, and I will give it credit, and it kind of helped me, but still, I mean, it really didn't have much pictures or nothing like that. So I was kind of flying blind. Sometimes you have to do that on these old cars. So you know, so now there's one out here. Y'all can watch it if you need to reference it or whatever. I like to be the pioneer stuff sometimes. And with that said, we'll go ahead, order the parts we need, get the heater core. The heater core is actually laying there. We'll get the heater core in this car and get this stereo in it. And this guy should be ready to go to the rod run pigeon forge. I've got everything pretty much done with it that I need to do. Once I wanted to have the heater core in it because last year we got down there and it was fogging up. And it was kind of cool in the mornings, and it was fogging up, and we couldn't see to drive this thing. And then the wipers failed. So, so we got the new. I actually put a new wiper motor in it. It just jerked back loose. So I'd fix that. But that and the transmission issues, it caused us not to be able to drive the car around like we wanted to. So we're going ahead and we're going to do all this stuff. Have some tunes where we can ride around too. A little boom boom action. And we're going to have our mechanical gauges here in there as well. So I don't have to worry about these metric Asian fried rice gauges not reading anything that I need to see. But then we'll be ready to go with this car. I'm not sure if Dad's going to go this year or not. Hopefully he will. I've got his parts coming in. They should be here this week. And we'll bring it in here and get his brakes and everything done on his and get his where it can be driven. I'm not sure if he's actually going to go though, but hopefully he does because he loves it. But you know, he's just not been in the health the past few years. So, but that's it. That's the video for the night. It's not a real long one, but it's something informative, especially if you've got a B-body car and you want to take the dash pad out of. Should be kind of similar on the Oldsmobiles and the Pontiacs and stuff. I'm sure to be a little different, but you probably could get in there and figure it out with my guide on that. So I appreciate everybody watching. Up to 237, and we're still growing. So hopefully we'll get up there. We'll get up to that mark we're needing to get to. Just keep checking us out. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. I love y'all. I appreciate it. But do one thing for me. Go rig something up.